Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, I'm near the end of my gay movie marathon and I'm up to the next best thing, which is kind of the third film in the sort of unofficial trilogy of gay best friend films, consisting of My Best Friend's Wedding, The Object of My Affection, and The Next Best Thing. Now, this one was done in 2000, and it's the least successful of the three. My Best Friend's Wedding made 300 million. I think The Object of My Affection made about 40 million. This made 25 million. 24 million, but it cost 25. So it wasn't a hit by any measure, but it was, for the most part, a good film, and I don't think it really gets a fair deal. Madonna's acting is fine. There's some bad ADR, and her accent. I think the problem is it's impossible to not be aware that she's Madonna because of the accent and her and Rupert and their personal friendship and everything. They sort of wanted to play on that, but I think it actually sort of hurts the film a little bit. In a couple of scenes, there's expectations of Madonna in this film when really it's her character Abby that we're actually dealing with. So there's some issues there, but I mean, the film looks beautiful, the cinematography is great, the music's great, the acting is great. We've got Rupert Everett and Madonna, of course. We've got Benjamin Bratt playing the romantic interest for Madonna's character Abby. We've got Lynn Redgrave as Rupert's mother, of course. She's amazing. And we've got Neil Patrick Harris as the friend. So there's a lot of people in this, and it's really well done. But at the end of the day, it doesn't give what it promised. It promised to be a romantic comedy about two friends, you know, a gay guy is his best friend, who raise a child together, and then the drama that, you know, ensues when, you know, one of them finds a new person, has a relationship. But it gets really nasty really fast. The film is really good for a long stretch, and then once Abby gets involved with Benjamin Bratt's character, who is gorgeous in this film, and we're blessed with 2 shots of him in his underwear, so, you know, life is good. But yeah, the idea that she would uproot Sam, their son, who is now 6 years old, because in The Object of My Affection, the idea of this couple of friends who've only known each other for a few months raising this baby together is a little ridiculous when you think of it. Whereas this film, these people have been friends for decades, or years at least over a decade, and they do actually stay together and form a family unit which lasts for 6 years. It's after Sam's 6th birthday that she meets Benjamin Bratt's character, and he lives in New York. He's just visiting California, and he wants her to move back with him because his career is there. Now, I mean, Madonna has her own... Madonna, see, I'm doing it there. Abby has her own yoga business there, but apparently she's just willing to sort of follow the man because he's got the career and everything. But the idea they were going to uproot Sam and take him away from Robert just so he could get a promotion or something, it is pretty selfish, and it's hard to not judge the characters for that. And you can kind of understand Robert's reaction, although he does overreact a bit. He's unreasonable, but just the fact that they promised to put the child first, and now she's putting her relationship before the child and him. So she just comes off very selfish, very unsympathetic, and very un-Madonna-like for how we perceive Madonna as, you know, this great friend of the gays. And once it gets into the court proceedings, it gets absolutely brutal, and it's devastating, seeing how little regard that he gets and how little rights he has as a father and a gay father. But then when you find out, and spoilers, in case, you know, you haven't seen it, she knows, and has known for about 3 years after a blood test, when Sam had his tonsils out, that Sam is actually not Robert's son. She slept with her ex around the same time, didn't tell him, and so she'd known for about 3 years that Sam actually wasn't his child. So he has no legal rights at all because, you know, genetically it's not his son. So he gets the absolute shit kicked out of him. But and then he has to play dirty, and he actually contacts Abby's ex and brings him in, and he actually, fortunately, petitions to basically have enough custody to get to know his son at least, and that stops Abby from actually leaving and going to New York with I've forgotten his name. Benjamin Bratt's Ben. His name's Ben. So he basically ends up having to give up his promotion, leave the firm, and he stays in California, and they set up house there. I think they get married. But yeah, they've ruined their friendship. They've hurt their son, and it's just a mess, and it's just ugly to watch. It's not fun. This film promised to be something different, and that's one of the main reason I think that films fail. Either they're not promoted properly, or enough, or they're promoting a different film, and then people don't get what they expect, and there's no good word of mouth. So this film is a lot more serious and more dark, and it basically doesn't deliver on the promise of these two having a child together, because it's not his child, even though he does play the role of the father, and he gets some recognition of that. But and I believe this, I thought this was based on a book, but I'm not sure at this moment. I couldn't find much on it. But yeah, I mean, Madonna's acting is fine. She gets a lot of criticism for it. I mean, really, there's some bad ADR. I don't know if I mentioned that before. Her accent is the issue, I think, because she's supposed to be a California girl, but yet she has this weird half-British accent that Madonna had at the time that she was with Guy Ritchie. She really, as an actress, as a character, she should have done an American accent and stuck with it. But she did what she wanted because she's Madonna. So I think that hurt the acting. But yeah, it's more that the story didn't really deliver, and it was just a lot darker and meaner. But in the end, Robert is watching from the sidelines, Sam leaving school, and Ben spots him, they talk, and then Abby sees him, she gets upset. And I'm like, what are you upset about? He lost his son. Okay, so you couldn't move away with your boyfriend, and you didn't get this nice promotion. But really, I'm annoyed at her at this point that she's actually angry. But then when she's in the car, she sees Sam looking out the back window, missing his dad, and she knows what she has to do. She does the right thing. They go back and they give Sam to Robert for the night and to have dinner, and obviously they're going to work out some sort of arrangement so he gets to see him because he is the father. So they do respect that, but there's any sort of potential political sort of statements on paternity or fatherhood or the legal system, or gay men having children and gay people having being parents, and that is kind of lost when they reveal that he isn't actually the biological father. Now, whether they did that just for a twist at the end or whether that was sort of supposed to be there the whole time, I don't know. But if they're working on an original story from a book like I thought they were, then I guess that's the way the story went. But if they wrote it, it was a mistake. They should have kept him the biological father. It would have made, the court case still would have been brutal, but just not just, to the level it gets to. But, I love the film, even despite all that, because the good parts are good. And, it's meant to be brutal, and it really delivers on that level. It's just that's not what we were promoted. So once you've seen the film, you know what it is, it's fine. But if you're going in expecting a nice, light romantic comedy like The Object of My Affection, you got a pretty hard bitch slap towards the end. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I can't think of anything else to say about the film, except it was very different watching this film in 2024. It came out in 2000, so it's been 24 years. And I look at it a lot differently than I did when I was younger. I had a best friend at the time that I saw the film with, and this film should have prepared me for some things that happened after that I should have been able to predict the way they went, and they were life-changing. But and it was a little bit weird and sort of triggering to go back and watch the film and think about that and how things are. But that's a whole nother story. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the film if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, I would see it. Just know what it is. It's not a light, fluffy little comedy. For all the people detracting from it and criticising Madonna, I think they were just doing the really basic thing that people have done for years, saying she can't act when she can act. And there are some really good scenes and really good performances. It's just not the film that it sold itself to be, which is why it wasn't as successful as it could have been. I think if it had been a bit lighter and they hadn't gone so hard towards the end, the word of mouth would have been better, and it would have done really well. It had a lot of the ingredients, and they just got that one little thing wrong and just went that little bit too hard. I guess they didn't want to do another Object of My Affection. They wanted to do something a bit heavier. And sometimes people just avoid like the obvious choice and the best choice for just stupid reasons. So I think they just didn't quite get it right. They were so close. But yep. I'm going to go. I've been talking for 10 minutes, but it's a Madonna film, so it deserves an extra bit of attention. And I do have a lot of sentimental feelings for this film and so forth. But I'm going to go. A couple of films left, and then I'm done.